Who is ready for 2020? Hi everybody, welcome back to Talk and Chalk. I'm Beck. I'm an assistant principal in Southwest Sydney, and this is my channel where I just share lots of tips, advice, resources, all for free. No spam, no sign-ups. I don't monetize the channel or anything like that. I do this because sharing is caring. Now, if you are new to the channel, I've had lots of new subscribers and followers lately. Feel free to check out the channel, see all the other videos that are there. There's over 100 different videos, sharing things from the classroom, sharing resources. I'm not an expert, I just share the things that work for me or things that I know that have worked for others in my context or that I've worked with, and that's what I put out there. So, some things that I do may not work for you. Sometimes it might, you never know. So if you haven't checked any of my other links out, I'm on social media everywhere in the description below. I might pop them up here as well. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I've recently started using the audio from these videos to turn into podcasts if you prefer to listen. However, today's video is one of those ones that you can't listen to. You need to see it to believe it. I've been working very, very hard on creating a teaching program / planner using Microsoft OneNote. Now, I've got lots of other videos on how to use Microsoft OneNote. If you've never touched it before, I'm not giving you sort of how-to instructions in this one. Today, I'm giving you this template planner for you to use, play with, do as you wish, copy, paste, insert, delete, share with your staff. It's up to you. But if you don't know how to use it, you might want to go back to one of my other videos. I've got a OneNote for Beginners video, and then various other ones that are there as well. Now, on those links to social media, please contact me if you have any questions. I'm not a technology expert. I think I'm okay. But if this does not work for you, if the download does not work for you, please contact me. Don't just ignore it. Send me a message on one of those things. I always reply. We can contact via email. If I need to send you the file directly, I'll do it that way. But some of my other ones have had thousands of downloads, so I can't be sending thousands of emails out to everyone to do this. Hopefully, the way that I've done it will work for you. So what I'm doing in today's video is I'm going to give you a tour throughout this planner because there's tons of stuff. There's accreditation support in there for you, PDP support for you. I've given you calendars, KLA templates, IEP templates, behavior templates. I've given you resources for differentiation, lots of documentation. Now, if you are not in New South Wales, you'll notice that a lot of the things in there are from the New South Wales public education system because that's the system that I work in. So that's my knowledge base. However, I've tried to make everything as editable as possible. So if you're in a different state or even if you're across the world, hello, welcome, Australia, you should be able to edit it to suit your context. That's my hope anyway. So if it doesn't work out very well for you, I do apologize, but unfortunately I don't know every system. I can only know the context that I work in, as best as I possibly can. So hopefully it works for you. So we're going to switch to, in a moment, a video tour through all of the different sections that are in there for you. And then at the end of this, I'll show you how you can download it. Now, I created this using OneNote 2016. I do have the Windows 10 version and I do use online where necessary. My favorite version is 2016, which is why I keep using it. So if this doesn't work in the download for you, again, contact me. If you have a Mac, sometimes that's where it glitches out. So I recommend using a computer, using a PC that has OneNote already so that you can just open it up, have the file there. Once you have opened it using your own login and you've accessed it, then you should be able to access it using other systems. So for example, once I opened up my OneNotes and had everything there, I could then use the app on my iPad to open up all of those files, but I couldn't download directly to the iPad. So if that makes sense, once you've opened it in the software that it opens in, then you should be able to access it anywhere. But again, contact me. I will talk you through it as best as I possibly can. And if not, I will find a guru that has the answer for you. So if you already know how to use OneNote, if you're not really interested in seeing the tour, you'll need to skip sort of towards the end of the video. It is a long video because there's lots to show you. Skip to the end and you'll see the downloading instructions. So let's get into it. Welcome to the 2020 OneNote Teacher Program / Planner, however you use it. I'm going to go through all of these tabs here and show you what's going on. So be aware, I might zoom in, zoom out, and I'm going to use the pen here to point out different things like the tabs across the top or these tabs down the side here as well. So because you can't see me pointing with my finger, I'm going to use those where possible to try and highlight some things for you. So just looking obviously at the tab we've got at the top here, the introduction. This is just my little intro here. There's nothing special on that first page, but as you click down these side tabs here, this is just OneNote information. This is standard stuff from Microsoft just to help you go through OneNote and learn different things, and there's lots of different links there, so that has just been kept in there for you. Moving along though, the next tab across the top up here is school documents. I'm just going to rub that out. School documents here. So this is good for recording. You can see down the side here, school name, school code, address, phone numbers, etc., etc. If your school uses passwords for Britannica or the World Book or anything like that, it's there. And then coming over to this side, there's more school information here. So you can see I've got a 2020 staff list for you. So the role, who that person is, what room they're in, and what days they work. So this is good if you've got a fair amount of staff that job share, you'll be able to know who's where on what day, and all these different roles here that you might be able to fill in, like your community liaison officer, library teacher, that sort of a thing. Moving down to the next tab, roles and responsibilities. So this is just a basic one. Every school has to have an ARCO, a Fed rep, a women's contact. So those are things that I've just kept in there, and then you just put the person's name here, la-di-da, and then what their role is over this side. Remember, this is all fully editable, so you can change this as you want. School photos, bell music, who runs the website, the Twitter, the Facebook, who's on presentation day, who's running SRC, and who's running all of these different special events. And then if your school runs committees, there's a little section here where you can put down all the staff that's on each committee, who the supervisor is, what projects they're doing, and events that they're doing throughout the year. Here's a little tab for you to just insert your school expectations, a tab to insert your school map, a tab to insert your school plan. Here's some tables so that you can put your student leadership team on there, your school captain, vice captains, prefects, your house captains, and your SRC students can be listed on there as well, just for record keeping. The 2020 class lists you might want to insert in there, your community language and RFF classes. This is just a supervision table, so this is good for executive if you want to know who's doing what. So obviously, you stick your principal's name at the top there. You've got an instructional leader if you have one. If you've got a deputy, you'd put that in between this level, and then listing who does what. So you've got your SAM, your APs across the top, who they are, what their responsibilities are, and then who sits under them in that team. So for example, if I stuck my name here as the red assistant principal, I'd have the names of the teachers underneath me, and then I'd list their responsibilities as well. So at least if the bell music hasn't been changed and I can't remember who's doing it or whatever, I can look at that list of who's doing it, or I can look down this chart here and see which teacher is doing it, and I can talk to their supervisor and say, hey, have you reminded them to change the bell music? And then another tab here for permission to publish. So it's always good to make sure that everyone has access to the list of students who don't have permission to publish, so that doesn't accidentally get caught up in different school events or excursions. The next tab is timetables. So the top tab over the side here, you can see admin meeting playground duty. So, when you have admin meetings once a week, who's on duty at that time, you rotate it around so the same person isn't missing out on all of that information. Just listing who it is and who's taking minutes for the day. And then underneath it, you'll see I've got a little tab here that says term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. And if you click on that little over the side here, we're looking. Oh, that wasn't a very good arrow, but that's where we're looking. There's a little drop down arrow here, and there's some examples that you could have. Oh my gosh, no, remind me later. This little arrow here is about sections, so you can have your support and RFF timetables, a playground duty roster, and there's a little table there for you that you can use and edit. Extreme weather organisation and assembly organisation for that week. You can add tabs to this at any time. Just click this little plus and you can add your own tabs and change it. There we go. And then it's the same thing for term 2. Put all those things in, term 3 and term 4. Moving across the tabs at the top now, we're up to our templates. So this is really good. If you're an executive, this is an example program checklist. So you put all the details in here and you can just tick off if the person has it in their program like this. Different things like their profile, IEPs, timetables, assessment schedules, and going down, getting into our key learning areas. So here's a bit of an overview for English, the different objectives and the areas underneath that you may want to see specifically in a program. And again, you just tick off if that teacher's got it. And if they don't have it, then obviously there's not a tick there, and that's what you reflect on. So each of those sections, you've got scope and sequences, outcomes, learning intentions, success criteria, etc., etc. Moving over to evaluation, registration, and any comments about that. So for example, there might be a section here that the teacher doesn't teach because that's their RFF time and someone else is teaching it. So you would, maybe type something in the comments here about why you're not ticking it off, and that's fine. And then there's a section for maths, science, technology, HISI, PDHPE, and creative arts. Now for this section, I've actually gone with the new framework for PDHPE, even though my PDHPE template isn't quite following that perfectly yet. And then a section down here for review and comments, and that can go throughout the term. Then coming back over to this side level of tabs here, we've got lots of things. There's a teacher timetable template. There is a weekly planner. So this could be like your digital day book, and I've got an example down here about what it might look like. You've ticked off the things that you've done for the day. This one here, handwriting, is not ticked off. So there's a note down the bottom here saying, ran out of time for handwriting. Over this side on the Tuesday, ticked off the things that we've done. You can see a big line through buddy reading and no tick, and it says buddy reading was cancelled as the teacher was sick. That's just an example of how you could use it. Going down to the next tab, support timetable template. So if you're an exec, this might be handy for you. Like this is just an example of, the 5 support RFF teachers you've got for the day, the EALD teacher and a teacher librarian, a breakdown of the day and when they're taking RFF or reading groups or support. So that's an example for Monday, and then there's another table there for Tuesday, another one for Wednesday, another one for Thursday, another one for Friday. All fully editable, so you can change it to suit your needs. Variation to routine template. This one you can just copy and paste. You right click and click copy and go put it in a different section if you want, or you can come over to this tab on the side here, right click and click copy and copy it elsewhere. But the idea is you put down the date that the variation occurred, the time, what it was. So for example, house meetings occurred at 2 o'clock on this particular day, and it affected the whole school for an hour, and just sign there that that's what it is. And this is just how you record why there were changes made in your program. Here's a bit of just a template for some meeting minutes when you have a team meeting. Here is an IEP template, just putting the student details, their strengths, areas to be developed, any additional information, and then the specific SMART goals that you're working on with strategies, the staff that are doing it, and then the progress for your dates. And then these are some KLA templates. So you might have seen these ones before in another video that I've done. So this is a maths program template. So you can see it's just a weekly overview. Here's focus 1. Here's our learning experiences down here. And focus 2 is measurement and geometry, more learning experiences down here. Down the bottom you might have math group rotation, so put that information here, what those kids are doing, what activities they're doing, and then the different assessments that you're doing for that week. And then just to register you've taught them, you just tick, and you can sign if you have the screen, or just put your name on there if you've got that. And that's pretty much a similar format for all these other KLAs. So there's a writing template for you, and in this one there's an example of how you can insert the progressions and tick off what you're working towards. Obviously you're not ticking all of those things every week. There's a guided reading one, and you can put that into groups if need be. So here's group 1 in the activities for the week, group 2 activities for the week. There's a health template, and this would be a term's worth of activities because we don't teach health every single day. So you'd go through that, week by week. HISI template, and you can see these colors match the syllabus colors that we've got for, the New South Wales curriculum. A creative arts one, again, kind of like health, where it's the term overview. And then there's one here that I made that was an integrated KLA one. So if you're looking at a different subjects, kind of equal balance there, putting it all together, there's a template there for you for those ones. So let's go back up to the top now and look at these tabs here. I'm moving over to the next one. So this is another variation to routine tab, but this is a whole school overview. So this would be good for executive if you're looking at the whole school, what's happening, not just that one teacher and what's impacting their class, but what's impacting the whole school. So you can see over on the right hand side, these tabs here, I've got the template, but then I've got events listed. So like carnivals, swimming carnival, cross country, athletics carnival, and then incursions are listed below it here. So you can see my little arrow on the side there. I can pull that menu up if I want to, if there's lots and lots of them. But at least this way, like let's say example, here's swimming carnival, you might want to get your staff to insert the organization into here so that everyone has access to it. Or for example, you know, if that person is away, at least executive can access it and make sure that everything's up to date. You know, teacher suddenly breaks their leg and you don't know where all the organization is. There it is, right in OneNote. So let's go up to the top again and go to the next tab over, which says PDP. Now, this is all of the documentation that supports you with your PDP. So this is the stuff from the Department of Education, created in combination with Federation. So the framework is here. So you can see it's a PDF document here, which you can open up and save. But then there's it's the printout is here. So you can scroll down and read through everything there as well. So if you've got questions about your PDP and you're not sure what, if you're Googling the right thing or anything like that, I've saved it all here. So the PDP template is in there. That's the official template we're meant to use. The goal setting process and how that should look. Again, a PDF. This is a section for professional learning. So this is again that same format of documents. And then you might want to insert the PL application form that your school uses here, just so you've got it saved. And then this is a log so that you can keep a record of all of the PL that you've done, whether it's registered or not. So you can see, you know, here's an example at the top. We've put the date of when I did it. You know, you would highlight which goal that it was a focus on. So I'm just going to go up and make it look like I've shaded. That's not a good color to use. Let's try again. So let's say it was my goal number 4. The training was mandatory child protection training. Here's the description of it. Very short, just one sentence. I haven't put the standards in there, but you put the standards in there. How many hours it was, whether it was registered or non-registered, and whether or not it has been added to ETAMS, because anything that's not registered will not be added to ETAMS automatically. Now, if you're not in New South Wales, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's our online system that we use to keep our registration up to date, and put that on there because you can add your teacher identified hours. So this will help you keep track of that. So this is a good way to just keep track of the things that you're doing on there, just in case ETAMS isn't up to scratch. And it's also a good way for you to just record, you know, how much you're working towards those different goals. Like if all of these constantly say goal 4, you need to start looking at professional learning for a different goal. Evidence information and how do you, this is stuff from ATSL, how do you evidence progress against your goals? Information about observations, feedback, the frequently asked questions, teaching standards, and improving the quality of teaching. All that documentation is there to support you. All right, let's move on to the tab at the top here, which is policies and procedures. Now, this is just if you're in the New South Wales public system. This is where you go to find all these things, and then have a look down the side here. I've just inserted the mandatory training guide, school fact sheet, values in public schools, code of conduct, behaviour code, excursion policy, the programming, assessing, reporting policy, environmental education policy, etc., etc., etc. All these things that are usually the quick ones, the most often used ones. They're there for you just for easy access. Now, at the top here, you're going to see 3 of these tabs that look different. These ones have bigger collection of information in them. So you can create these by right-clicking in a little space at the top here, and you've got new section, which is what these colorful ones are here, and then you've got new section group, which is what these ones are. So these are groups, and this is where you can add lots more tabs. So if you are someone who is looking at accreditation, go into this tab. I've got the standards here for you, and if you want to add more information, you just hit this little crossover on the side here and add more tabs down the side. But what I've done for you is created a little section that's hopefully really helpful for collecting evidence for accreditation, regardless of whether you're working towards proficiency, highly accomplished, or lead. These should hopefully be helpful for you. So if you click on standard 1, here are the standards here, the focus areas. And then you can see I've got a little table at the bottom here that says the focus area, artifact 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll just highlight one of them for you here, this section here. So the idea being is that, you know, as you go along, take photos, photocopy, document things, put it straight in there as you go. So it's here to remind you of what those focus areas are. And then you've got over here a section for artifacts. So let's just click on, artifacts 1.1. Go back again, 1.1 here, physical, social, and intellectual development and characteristics of students. You find something you think pertains to that, come into 1.1, drop your screenshot, your photo, or your document into 1.1, and then come up here and write down photo taken on, blah, 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 whatever the date was. And maybe even give it a little name. And you've got one artifact for that area. And then you'll notice as you go through whether you've already got 4 artifacts for 1.1 and maybe you've got nothing for 1.5. This will help you keep track of that. And I've done the exact same thing for you in all of the standards. So if you go to standard 2, here it is here with the table, the focus area, and then different tabs for you to put your evidence. Again, for standard 3, same thing. Information there, tabs there. Standard 4, standard 5, standard 6, and standard 7. This will hopefully help you just streamline that process for your accreditation. All right, so to go back to where we were, there's this little arrow at the top here next to that accreditation tab, takes us back, and you can see we're back in that main section again. And up the top here, the next place that you can go to is the program. So let's click on that. This is your teacher program. So I've got term planners here for you. So you can type into these, type in the event, what you need to have done, anything, excursions, whatever that's going on. So you can see the first bit here I've put in for you is the staff development day. And the dates at the beginning here is the date for the Monday. So Monday is the 27th of January 2020. In week 2, the Monday is the 3rd of February. Now I've typed these things in, and I got my hubby to cross-check the dates. So if something is wrong, at least you can edit it, fully editable. And then I've got a space here for the holidays for you as well, because you might want to type in things there to remember that, maybe you're going in for a team meeting or something like that. You want to get something done, put it in there. So there's term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 4. For those of you that missed it, the tabs were over this side here for terms 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see I've given them a different color, so at least it's not confusing as to which term you're writing in. So going back up to the top here, I've got a section for PDP. So the first one I showed you was lots of information about the PDP process and documentation. This is where you do your own thing. So you can insert your goals here, insert observations on this page. I'm over on this side now looking at these tabs, and then you can collect some evidence for your PDP. You may anywhere between 3 and 5 goals. Most recommend 3 or 4. Don't go too much. Collecting some evidence for it, put it in these tabs here. So let's go back up to the top now and look at the next tab, which is your timetables. So in here, you've got 4 different tabs over on the side here to insert for terms 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then stick your own variation of routine in there. The tab is already there for you. The table, is already there for you. Back up the top again, scope and sequences. So I haven't put any in, obviously your school is going to have your own, but I've given you drop down boxes. So on the side here you can see the first one says English. On the side there's a little arrow here, drop down, and there's early stage 1, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So you can pick which ones obviously you're going to put in there. And I've done the same thing for maths, for HISI, for creative arts, PDHPE, and science and technology. So let's go back to the top, and the next one is your pathways. This is the personalized learning pathways for Aboriginal students. So I've got a bit of a template in here for you where you just put the student information, and then the student can tell you these particular things on the side, what they're interested in, what they're proud of, what they're good at, what they like doing, their dreams, and what they'd like to improve. This section here is for you with the parent to discuss what makes them proud of their child, what they're good at, what they'd like to see their child improve in or achieve, and then a section for the teacher to put their strengths and areas for development. And then you've got your focus area with goals, strategies, staff, and progress, kind of similar to the IEP template. Again, this is fully editable, so you can chop and change as needed. What I have included here in the tabs on the side is really pertinent information for you. So we've got the Aboriginal Education Policy. You just double click on that to open. Information about personalised learning pathways in the guidelines, some information from Department of Education and a link to where you can find information, the 8 Ways of Learning fact sheet, the PLP action plan for a whole school basis. You can use that template, PLP checklist, the core issues, document, which you can open up there, the template, and then where you keep their records. So down the bottom here, you can see I've written student A. So if in your program, you would then list all those students that have a PLP and insert or you just copy and paste this template, copy and paste this into all those student ones, and then edit that document with the information that needs to be added. Back up to the top now, the next tab is assessment. I haven't put anything in here for you other than just sections where you can put, just for example, these areas are what you're going to assess. Just some tabs there for you to do that. So the next tab along is learning plans. So over on the side here in the list, you can see I've got a section for individual education plans, our IEPs, behavior plans, targeted intervention, and then down here I've got some resources for you. So this is just where you insert their plans here, and I've got some templates. So this is an example adjustment checklist. You could use this, and if you, like me, and you've got a Surface Pro, I'm just going to switch to my highlighter. I might highlight the things that I'm using for that particular student, put their name on it, and then, put it under student A or B, wherever it applies. This is an example targeted intervention plan. So let's say you're working on, 3 groups or 5. Oh, I've put 3 identified students, but then I've put student A to E, so that's 5 students. So you guys can edit that. So you'd put down, their names in this section here, and then it's got this section of the table, the learning progression focus. If you're using the learning progressions for assessment, you might want to use that to target that group of kids collectively. And then, why is this the target? Then you would put their current progression marker, the goal progression marker, and then this is where you'll document how you're going to get shift. What are the strategies that you're going to use to do that from the syllabus or the progression teaching points? And then this one where it says, how will I shift my strategies? This is things like, how will you change the routine? How will you change your content? How will you change the learning intentions of lessons to actually support that? It's not all going to be on the student end. And then you can have that just sitting there, in front of you when you have those lessons, just as a reminder of exactly what it is you're going to do. And then this last one here is an example behavior plan template. So details about the students, and then a bit of an action plan here for those behaviors for when they escalate, act out, and the strategies that you're going to use. So this would probably be developed in line with your learning support team, but the template is there for you. All right, getting into the last bit now. This last bit is now your term focus here. Just up these few more tabs here. This may not be the last bit, let's see. So in here I just click term 1, and you can see at the top here I've got the different syllabus areas, and when you click on it, for English, it says week 1 over the side here, and there's a bit of a drop down box where I've just given you some different areas. So guided reading, writing, handwriting, speaking. You can obviously edit and insert by adding a page. This is just an example. So for each week, I've given you those areas, and you can just come over here and insert whatever it is that you're doing onto that page. And then I've done very similar for the other areas as well. So mathematics, I've just given you the weeks here. So we're on the week 1 page. You come down here and you can either copy and paste one of those programs from the templates, or if you've done something in a Microsoft Word document or whatever, just insert it into here. You've got a couple of tabs here for the overview, the sequence of learning and resources, creative arts, same, PDHPE, I've just put personal development, health and physical education, and science technology, again, same as those other ones. Now, if I go back, I can click on term 2, and look, it looks exactly the same. And it's the same for term 3 and term 4. Now, I'm clicking on this back arrow again to come back out, because you can see at the top here, we did accreditation, we did program. Now I want to look on this tab that says work samples, and this is the last section. So if I click on work samples, I've got the different KLAs across the top here, and then all I've done is just across the side here given an example, student A, student B. Now this might be just where you record results. This could be where you record the work samples with annotations, or just the work sample with a date, but at least it's an area to store it. I wanted to put this in here as a reminder that you can easily collect these work samples on the go. Whether or not you've got a device that has a camera or not, if you don't have a laptop, we have our phones. You can get the OneNote app and insert things straight away. So if you've already got a tab set up for that kid or that focus area, that learning area, it's there. You know, come over here to the side, click this tab and put little, you know, Johnny Be Good over here. Whoops. I can't even spell Johnny, my gosh. Johnny Be Good. He's here. And, you know, if his name is there and you know it's there, go to OneNote, take a photo, put it in. So hopefully that will help you guys in terms of keeping some of that stuff and having it ready. You know, you're sitting down for that team meeting and you want to kind of explain what some of your kids are doing, pull it up, it's right there in front of you. So that's a big program. Okay, so the best bit of information of all is how to get to it. So in the description, I'm going to be giving you guys 2 different links, one to the Google folder and one to the Microsoft SharePoint. Now, please keep in mind, if at any time this does not work, please contact me on social media. I will get it to you however I can. So the link to the Google Drive, obviously you should just be able to click on it. I've just got it saved here in a Word document for myself. Go to, you know, your browser and copy and paste the link into the Google Drive, and it will take you to what most likely will look like this, where it says no preview available, because, you know, it's Google and Microsoft and, you know, they're not always the best of friends. But what you do need to do, you don't need to request access to edit or anything like that. You should be finding the download button, and on here you can see it's right there. It is also, if you follow my cursor up here, this little arrow icon, that's download as well. So what you do is you click download. Now it's going to tell you that it's too large for Google to scan it for viruses. I promise I'm not sending you a virus. So if you trust me, you'll click download anyway. And it will take some time to download. Now mine is currently showing up down the bottom of the left screen down here. I don't think yep, you should be able to see that though. So it'll take a little while to download. Now, while that's downloading, I'll show you what it looks like when you go to the SharePoint. So this is the Microsoft SharePoint, which unfortunately will only work with New South Wales Department teachers. So I'm just going to add up another browser while that's still downloading, and I'm going to go to the SharePoint. Now let's just go back to Google and see if it's ready. It looks like it's ready. That circle has completed now, and it says 116 out of 116. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to pop up, or not, because it's thinking about it. Now, ignore the fact that you can see the planner program behind this. It's not actually open yet. When this comes up, you are going to need to click create. So you click create, and then it will open up this file for you in your OneNote. Now you can see I'm using 2016. Here we go, it's opened up now. So you should still be able to open this on any of the versions. I've got Windows 10 version, I use the online version. You should be able to open this regardless. Now, it doesn't always work with Macs. Again, if you're having issues and you don't have access to, you know, a departmental computer or a Windows PC, just email me, contact me, I'll get it to you. So you can see at the top here now, it actually says, I'm just going to highlight, do my arrow, it says 2, because I've opened this, I've downloaded and opened this a couple of times now to check it. And you can see it's all there. This is the program now for you. So I'm just going to see how I've got 2 different ones now. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go back to where we were for the SharePoint. And go away. There we go. So when you go to the SharePoint link, this will open up. And again, it tells you, I don't have a preview. That's fine. You need to click on open. And it's going to do the same thing it did before downloading. It's going to keep downloading, and then when it finishes, you'll click on it and it will give you a prompt that says create. It will look exactly the same. Click create. That's all you need to do to get it. Okay, so you can see there are tons of things in that program, and I've tried to be really diligent on making sure that you can edit where possible, that you can add where possible. If you're an executive, this might be a starting point for you to use this with your teams or across the whole school. I've got my son saying, "Mummy, Mummy, where are you?" I'll try and wrap it up. So Share this with people. If you've got the files, share amongst your staff. That's the whole point of this. Let people know that it's there. Tag, share. Now, if you are watching this within social media somewhere, if you're on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, and this has opened up within that, you will need to click open in YouTube or come to the YouTube channel and find this in YouTube, because down below is the description box. There's a little triangle or an arrow that you click on to drop it down, and it has all my social media links, and there will be a link to the Google Drive and to the SharePoint. Now remember, the SharePoint you'll only be able to download, I think, if you are in New South Wales Department of Education system. So use the Google one. You should just be able to click download and open the way that I showed you. If it doesn't work, again, I know I keep reiterating this, but please contact me. Don't just ignore it. Let me know. I will help you through it. You know, if you're on Mac or something different to that, it may not open straight away. So I made this in 2016, in the 2016 version. If you don't have that version, you might need to open it up on a different computer or a PC just to be able to get access to it, and then you'll have it to open. So if I don't have the answer to this, I will find a guru that will have the answer to it for you. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I will put the subscribe button down here. So if you haven't liked the channel, click on that to subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like, a thumbs up if you think this is beneficial for you, or if you think I did a good job. I think I worked really hard on this one. I'll put another video at the top there. Thanks guys. Bye.